All right.
Okay, we're live. Welcome to Taco Tuesday, where again, as usual, we discuss anything from fitness to good food to action steps that you can take, anything in between. Especially excited to talk about today because it's almost Thanksgiving, so we can really get into the good food.
Yes.
But anyway,
Good
what we're
stuff.
really looking forward to when we do these is we're looking to give you success in every sense of your being, to your mind, your body, and your spirit and heart. I'm Nick.
I'm Rebecca. Our goal with these live talks is to provide high value info and some actions that you can take. So stay to the end so you can get some of the things that you can actually do to make changes.
And I am Brandon from an undisclosed location. I am not at home today. So, yeah, if you're live with us on Facebook, give us a like. Let us know you're here. Give us a quick thumbs up. And if you're not with us in our Facebook group, if you're listening, get over there. Come join us in our Facebook group. We have a good time. We share a lot of ideas here. That's a place where you can actually talk with us and have a conversation, ask questions, all those things. So yeah, we'd love to have you. Plus, you can watch these talks live streamed and interact with us as we go.
Mm-hmm.
So do it. It's more fun in here. So last week we talked about the advantages of a proactive mindset, proactive thinking, right? Kind of thinking ahead and having a little forethought, right? But I would be remiss if I failed to recognize the importance of adaptability, right? It is, it's great to plan. It's important to have some steps, right? Some structure. But I mean, life happens. A perfect example of that is I'm over here at Rebecca's sharing, graciously sharing her space. So because my kitchen is being destroyed next to the studio. So, power tools and live streaming don't go together very well. So yeah, both of us are being adaptable today, and we talked about rolling with the punches last week, and I really don't see it that way, and I think we talked about not really like seeing it that way. But yeah, just being adaptable, being open to other possibilities when the plan does not go the way that we expect it to. So
Right. And to adapt into like to jump in and push that in there. I'm very jealous. I'm out here in Michigan all alone. It's cold here. There's not any green anywhere anymore. And you guys are together, and I'm just out here alone, and I'm very jealous. But I'm adapting.
I'm sorry, Nick. There's more space out here if you want to hop on a plane.
Plenty of room. Soon enough. That's in the works.
Yeah.
What's up, Joanne? Joanne's with us. She's not able to make these a lot of the time, and I'm glad you're here. Joe, Philly Phil, my old homeboy from way back in the day. Glad you're here, my man. It's we need to be adaptable, right? Things change. If we fall apart every time things don't go as planned, we're not going to make it very far.
Right.
So why don't we jump right in? To me, one of the things that I think is really sort of important to acknowledge is sort of the difference between plans and strategies, right? I can't plan too rigidly. Right. We talked a little bit about this last time, but a plan is a plan, right? Like step by step, exactly how to get something done, right? Directions are plans. So, but a strategy in this context anyway is more of a set of guidelines. It might involve some backups and redundancies, but ultimately the idea is that it leaves room for the unknown or the unexpected, right? I'm a dad, I'm a business owner and a musician. I have, a few different parts of my life that run into each other. A lot of stuff pops up. So I need to sort of have a plan for the unplanned.
Yeah.
And essentially that's what a strategy is, at least to me. It's sort of a higher level view. When this happens, I'll do what? And kind of in between being proactive and reactive a little bit.
Right. I really like that you said, it's a strategy because, in a lot of my education, rather than having like a protocol, like that's what a plan is. It's a protocol. You have to follow it through and through. And a lot of like big corporations are like that. And I know like a lot of the clinics that my PT friends work in, they have to follow a protocol. I am very much more free and I get to follow, like you said, a strategy, principles, techniques, things that allow for exploration and the unknown, like you keep saying. Because if you don't allow for a little bit of that wiggle room, we talked about it last week. If you're so rigid, if you're so firm, you're just going to bend and snap.
Yep.
And when it comes to that, like planning for the unknown, like I do some things personally. I keep a list of, it's just a short list, but of things that I know I need to do for each day. But it's not, if I don't make them, there's no reason why I can't push it to the next day, because if I'm so rigid, I used to be that way. Actually, it wasn't even very long ago. Remember with you guys, like you had to call me out on some crap because I was pushing and I was stressing me out. I was stressing you guys out because I was pushing so hard to be so rigid. And it didn't work for us. It didn't work for me. It's not who I want to be. And it really wasn't working for you guys. So,
yeah.
But for the most part, I like to be a little bit more loose. I'm much more peaceful. And I live much more purposefully that way. And it's just a much better feeling for myself and everybody else who's around me, as you guys well know.
Yep.
Definitely.
Actually, I think Rebecca is a good person to talk about this because she's like master planner extraordinaire. I've got my methods. And I just know that like when life throws a bunch of crap, Rebecca can come out like smelling like a rose because of the flexibility that she has involved into her world. So Rebecca,
well, I'm glad that I'm fooling all of you. No, I'm just kidding. I will say my life is a little bit stressful and I am very much a planner. And if you had met me 5 years ago, I was very rigid. I had a set plan and I did certain things at certain times of the day and there was no flexibility in there. And one of the things that I worked with when I did coaching with you guys was trying to be more adaptable because right now in my life, I run my own business. I work with you guys in this business. I am a caregiver to my mother-in-law, and I manage all the normal things that you would manage, not just for my household, but for both households, mine and my mother's-in-law's, while my husband's at work. And so something that was stressing me out a lot and causing a lot of distress in my life 6 months ago was when things didn't go as planned, I would just break down and just be like, I don't know what to do. Now I always have in the back of my mind, this is what's happening today. If this happens, what do I do? If that happens, what do I do? If my mother-in-law is having a rough day and she needs more of my attention, how am I going to juggle those things? And what it's done is it's made me a lot calmer, more cool, and more collected. I actually get more done in a day because I'm spending less time in that frenzy of what do I do now? So it's kind of like always having a backup plan is really the most important part of being adaptable is if things fall through, how do I adapt?
Totally. I still know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And even then, sometimes the whole thing goes out the window and I have to kind of step back and go, you know what? I'm still going to end up in a bed tonight. Still going to wake up tomorrow morning, most likely. and life is going to go on. And I only have control over so much. And I'll probably return to that point. But ultimately, if all the plans go out the window, life starts over again tomorrow and we've got another shot at it. Right.
Right. And getting stressed out. This is what I always say to my husband. I'm not going to stress out about this because all stress does is cause a lack of sleep and pimples. So if I let myself stress out about it, I'm just going to be a pizza face 30-something-year-old, and nobody wants that. So you just kind of got to take a deep breath and have a minute and go, okay, so this is not going as planned. Do I have a backup plan? And if you don't, take a moment to just be by yourself for a moment in your mind, seriously, 1 minute, and you will come up with a backup plan.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll come to you if you allow yourself some space and some breathing room.
Yeah.
So another point that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if it's even a point or it's just an idea, but Nick, you said the words purposeful yet peaceful. Be purposeful yet peaceful. Man, like, to me, that
awesome.
Sums up this concept perfectly. Between this balance between being proactive but also being accepting of what we have to work with, right? If you know us at all, if you've listened to us at all, you know that balance is really a big deal to us, and living peacefully and harmoniously requires balance. So yeah, we want to be purposeful. We want to have intentions, a vision. We want to know the way to our destination, map the big spots. I always say, map the big things. But
I'm gonna jump in here.
Yeah, jump in. Go ahead.
That what you just said, like, it reminds me, and I've used this before. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. It's probably the same one I said in the past, but you need a compass and a place to go, but the road to get there is never straight.
Totally.
I like that.
Yeah, so absolutely. I love that. Because that's kind of the elephant in the rider thing again. And again, you've probably heard me talk about this. If you haven't, we did like a whole live on it. The rider, the logical part of our brain, the planner, right? That part of our brain gets peace of mind from knowing what's coming. That's that proactive thinking part. That's, the worrier part of the brain. It worries about what it doesn't know. And so we need to give it some of that plan for sure. So be purposeful and proactive so that part of your brain can rest at ease. Okay, I know what we're doing, right? But the other side of that is the elephant, the emotional, either motivated or stubborn, sensitive, the
emotions
shit, part of the brain, right?
Yeah.
Or the, whoa, that's way too much stuff part of the brain.
Yeah.
It's peace of mind from having some freedom to move, right? It's an elephant. It needs room to move. Having our boundaries respected, right? Whoa, this is too much. Okay. It needs to be inspired, but also respected. And basically, the writer, the logical part of the brain, the planner, is going to freak out until there's a plan. But the elephant, the emotional part of our brain, needs to have room to roam and be trusted to, move the logs off the path when we encounter them. The rider's got to trust the elephant. And I think that is really, really important and tough to do, right? Because we live very much in our logical part of our brain.
Right.
What do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? Guess what? Next is going to happen, right?
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah, man. I was just getting kind of enthralled with that. It made me think of, like, I have a huge thing for turtles. So as far as this goes, like, turtles they're always going somewhere. They always have an end goal in mind. But until they get there, they're just kind of going with the flow. And they do move. This, like what we were talking about, peacefully and purposefully. They move purposefully. They live peacefully for the most part.
And I've definitely learned having a little bit more flexibility within my structure. I still love structure. In fact, I'm pretty sure, Brandon, if you look off to the right, you'll see a very structured to-do list that has 90-minute blocks with just enough lines to get stuff done in those 90-minute blocks and scheduled breaks. And what I started doing was Monday through Friday, I was scheduling out my day to a T. Every 90 minutes, I had an overwhelming amount of stuff packed into those time frames. I don't have any help with my mother-in-law on Mondays and Tuesdays. And so I was trying to do everything on those days. And my elephant was saying whoa, that's too much shit. And so I had to take a step back. So now on Mondays and Tuesdays, I don't have anything booked. I don't schedule meetings other than talking with you guys. I don't have anything. So that way, when something pops up, I can go, yeah, let's do this. I've got an hour of time right now, and give myself that freedom to fit things in where I can, instead of forcing myself to do everything I normally would do on a day that I have freedom.
Yeah. Giving yourself some room.
Right.
So important.
Yep. Definitely a big thing.
Yeah. And I love the turtle metaphor as well, Nick, because it's true. If we're moving frantically all the time, a lot of the time we just end up bouncing around all over the place. We don't get to where we want to go anyway. And it's so stressful. It's frantic. But I love the turtle metaphor, especially because, turtles have that built-in, right, protection. Like things get crazy, things go not as planned. I'm going to draw in for a little bit, take a moment.
Yeah.
Right. It'll probably be over in a minute. I say that all the time. I hate it when people say this too shall pass, but oh God, we all know it's true. Right.
It's true.
And in the moment, and
even in times where you're like, God, this is going to last forever.
Yeah.
There's a logical piece of your brain that says this isn't going to last forever.
Right. Yeah. Listen to that.
Even if it feels like it will. I had another thought in there, but
it'll come back to you.
Well, you were mentioning it earlier about the turtle and running around and how it has this built-in protective mechanism. Think about how many times have you guys had a day where at the end of the day, it's 6 o'clock and you're like, how the heck is it 6 o'clock already? I feel like I was running around all day, but I don't think I got anything done. Right? How many times have you guys had those days? I know people listening to this, you have those days a lot, because I used to have those days a lot. Now, maybe once in a while, I'll have that. But if you're adaptable and you have backup plans and you just take a moment to breathe and not try to rush around, you're not going to have very many of those days anymore. We all have experienced that, and it feels terrible.
Yeah. It's a crap feeling.
Yeah. And sometimes days can turn into weeks, and then weeks into months. And that it just, it can just fry you. It will fry.
Yeah. Nothing feels worse.
Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then eventually you're going to hit the couch and you're not going to get up. And then, you're down for 4 or 5 days because your body's like in recovery mode.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes. That's a good point. The longer you stay in that place, grasping, right?
Trying hard. That's a big part of what I used to do a long time ago. I tried so hard to push myself to the next step, always climbing, pushing. Yeah. And I destroyed some of the relationships in my life that were really meaningful to me, but I destroyed them because I was so focused and I was pushing myself so hard and I was pushing them so hard. Not a good thing.
Yeah, we got to let go sometimes. It's a really hard thing to do. It's an interesting thing that you brought up. And we see it all the time, right? Especially when we're working with professionals and people who have kind of really demanding jobs. I mean, we all have jobs that are demanding, right? But, some of us, especially, those of us who are working from home where the clock just never stops, the work never goes away. It's always right there. Right. And we do this thing where we're like, oh, it's there. I got to work it out. We burn ourselves out.
Yeah.
And if you're always pushing that, then you're going to end up in a position where, you push yourself for months and then you're down for, sometimes weeks or months at a time. And it's,
happened to me.
Yeah.
Can I bring up a really good point while you're talking about that? You're talking about burning the candle at both ends and burning yourself out and, professionals and the clock never stopping when you work from home. There are lots of people who are in or will be soon in a position that I'm in, right? You work and you work from home, but you also are caring for a parent because, there's that sandwich generation where baby boomers are getting older and their kids are my age and they have kids and parents to worry about. So if you're stuck in that situation, or if you're going to get to that point, you really need to work on being adaptable because the clock doesn't stop for me. As soon as work is done, I still have duties to take care as a caregiver. And it goes throughout the entire night. So if you don't take time for yourself and have a backup plan to make sure that you're not running around like a crazy person, trying to accomplish everything all at once, it's going to get very stressful and overwhelming. And you can't be down for 5 days in that situation. And if you just let yourself get to that point, what do you do if you can't be down for 5 days? You're going to dig yourself an early grave and you don't want that.
Right.
gets bad. It gets bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, we always like to, to sort of end with a, action steps. What can you do? But so much of this is really a mindset thing. This is really mindset stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a matter of practice. It's a matter of self-talk. There are definitely some kind of some practices, some things we can put into place. We practice that a lot. We give a lot of that to our clients, especially,
Mhm.
and making use also of those stress buster practices. Taking a moment. But being adaptable is harder than proactive thinking, because you just don't know, right? There's no
Right.
action to take ahead of time. That's why it's such a mindset thing, right? All you
Absolutely.
do is prepare yourself emotionally and psychologically
Mhm.
for the unknown.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear something that just like kind of clicks, and I hope, I always hope for us to like provide that, but everyone needs to hear it a different way. I grew up with a dad who was always like working on our house. Like, we didn't have much money, so dad was always doing all the repairs, the plumbing,
Mhm.
like all that stuff himself. Very handy dude, and he would always tell me, just just plan on at least 2 extra trips to the hardware store, right? And
Yep.
never plan for things to go as planned.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that has like carried over. Like, what a simple thing. Always plan a couple extra trips, never plan for things to go as planned. And that
Yep.
shows up everywhere in my life.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
process.
it's because it's a real thing. Like, nothing ever does go as planned.
Exactly. Exactly. But you still have to have it, right? Otherwise we'll end up God knows where, right? You have to be going the right direction. Coming back to that balance thing. Like, you have to have something. There's got to be some structure, but you got to be willing to
Mhm.
to change gears if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the elephant take over when the rider's plan has a hiccup.
Exactly.
For me, if I were to say sort of one more thing in this department, we talked about not planning too far ahead as well. Like, we get way down the road sometimes. Like, oh, I have everything. I just know every single step. And sometimes that gives us a little peace of mind. But like we said, things happen. And in recovery, there are a couple of sayings that really help me out in those moments. One of them is just do the next right thing.
Mhm.
The
I like
next
that.
right thing.
I do love that. Like, and it doesn't matter if it was the best thing, it was right. For that
Right.
moment. It felt right. You had to go with it. And
Yeah.
even if it was wrong, you have to make it right. Like, it doesn't mean it's going to be wrong forever.
You've got another
You
moment.
learn from it, though.
Yeah. You've got another moment, another opportunity to do the next right thing.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Just keeps going.
Always, over and over. I love that.
Yeah. So
I
simple.
have a really great action item for everyone who's listening, whether you're live or you're watching this later. The best action item you could take if this hits home for you and you're like, yes, I struggle with that. Yes, that's a problem for me. Hello, we're 3 friendly people who like to help. So reach out to us, comment on here, send us a DM. If Nick and Brandon are scary looking, they're really not, I promise, but I'm a nice friendly lady too, and you can reach out to me. And we love to give all kinds of tips and tricks to help you and be there to support you. That's what the whole point of this community is about. So if you're struggling with this and you have no idea what to do, that's our specialty. Reach out to us and let us help you. That's what we want to do. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. That's a perfect action.
That is a good one.
Reach out, lean on your community though. Like, that's absolutely it. Even if it's like, I don't know about,
And you know what? Like, not to cut you off, sorry, man. Like, sometimes I just don't spit it out and I
Get so excited.
go away. But like, if you don't, like, if you're wondering, like, well, yeah, they're just saying that to be nice. This is an actual opportunity. Like, this is literally, we enjoy doing it. So like, if you're out there, wherever you are, we like doing this. We like talking to people. And sometimes that's all it takes. Just a few words to figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely. No, that is it. I mean, I know, we hear people all the time. They're like, I know you're like running a business and you don't just like give stuff out for free. That's actually not totally true.
We do actually.
And that's that's the real joy of doing, what we believe in and enjoying our work and loving what we do. Because we enjoy doing it. It's
fulfilling. It's very fulfilling.
Absolutely.
And life is easier when you ask for help.
Well,
Don't
you know
be
what?
afraid to
Actually,
ask for help.
for everybody who's out there, provide us with the opportunity to be fulfilled. Like, that's selfish. I'm being selfish right now, but that's what I would like, honestly. Anyway,
we do. We get a charge out of talking with you guys, and there are plenty of people around the group that you could ask. We talk with people all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great action item. Guys, I hope this, some of this has made sense. I know it's sort of a looser topic because adaptability is just, that's exactly what it is. It's really being able to adapt to changes as they come and sort of that mindset of, another sort of recovery idea, actions, not outcomes, and just being tied to, okay, this is my next action, and that's all I've got. The outcome is going to be the outcome. So I hope this makes sense to some of you guys. If that makes sense, please, drop a comment in here if you're watching live. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here, I think.
Yeah,
all right.
That was good.
So we love you guys. Like I said, like Rebecca and Nick both said, we love for you guys to reach out. If you've got a question, feel free to send us a message. Feel free to, make a post in the group and ask a question.
And if you're not in the group, join the group.
Yeah.
Come on over. We're cool over here.
Yeah, right. Ask the questions. And it's a great community, right? Even beyond, getting answers for problems, you'll get a lot of support in there. There are a lot of people doing a lot of the things that you're probably dealing with. And, that's why we created the community. It's not just us three in there.
Right.
There's like 400 something other people in there right now. And it's, growing all the time. It's impossible that you are the only one going through what you are going through. So please whatever it might be, lean on your community, lean on us, lift each other up. If things are good, or even if they're not, it really helps to lift somebody else up. That's another thing, get into a little bit of service and help somebody else out. That does a lot for us as well. It does a lot for you as well. So that's what it's all about in there. All right, guys. I don't have a topic for next week yet.
So come back and see what we're talking about.
Yeah. Or if anybody has any ideas, like that's cool too.
That's another great thing.
Tell us what you need.
Yeah. Post in the group. Something's on your mind. We just might end up talking about it for 30 minutes next week.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here one more time. Keep reaching out to each other. Keep lifting each other up. And if you're not in the group, come in there and please join us and be part of that. We love you guys, and we will see you soon.